tutorial, I'm going to show you how to set up Gmail to filter incoming email and route email to what is essentially a folder. In other words, it will keep your inbox a little more clear. So to do this, you need to understand a couple of things. First of all, you can create a filter using ordinary search parameters, and the filter basically identifies email coming in according to whatever your search criteria are, and then using that filter you can assign certain behaviors to any email that meets the criteria set up in the filter. So what we're going to do is set up a filter to search for emails from Blackboard, in this case from a class discussion subscription, and then we're going to assign a label to that email. Now, what the label does is it groups that email basically by assigning a flag to it, and then you can look for the email under the name of that flag. So for instance, I have my menu here minimized, but if you look, these are all labels, and each one of these labels allows me to group email based on certain characteristics. So this label, for instance, is the basically like storage place for email from my Intro to Philosophy course this spring, and that's the course we'll be focusing on. So I sent myself a test message, and if you look at that message, you'll see the characteristics that we need to create the filter. So first of all, we have the email address, which is blackboard@austincc.edu, and we need something about the subject heading that will make this email, this category of email unique. So what I always use is the synonym number, which is embedded in the subject heading of every email that Blackboard sends out. Okay, so I'm going to mark this as unread because we're going to need that in a minute. So to create a filter, essentially you go up to the search box, and you want to be fairly precise in what your filter is asking for. So you will, for instance, want to know that the email is from blackboard@austincc.edu, and you want to tell the search parameters to look in the subject for 04187, the synonym of the course that I'm interested in. Okay, you can go ahead and click enter and check that your filter is actually identifying all and only the email that you want to group together. So that's the only thing in my inbox that meets these search parameters, which makes sense because I just cleared it out and created this email in Blackboard. So now what you want to do is click on this, and this will allow you to create a filter. So you just check your parameters. It needs to be from Blackboard. The subject needs to contain this, and if you can, if there are other criteria that you want to experiment with, this can be good. For instance, you can look at the size of attachments and so forth, timing and so on. So what we want to do is create the filter. So now once we create the filter, then it asks you, when a message arrives that matches this search, what do you want to do? So you choose the thing you want to do, apply the label. Now you can use this little drop down to either choose an existing label or create a new label. I use labels in this sort of format. This is the semester or the academic year, the course rubric and course number, and the synonym number. So let's use this label as the action for this filter. So now when we create this filter, what will happen is the filter will basically apply these rules to incoming email. So this one is already here, so it's not going to trigger the action. But from now on, any new incoming email that meet the search parameters that we built into the filter will be assigned that flag, the label, And because it's assigned that label, it will be moved from your inbox into a smart folder like thing that is where your emails are. I'm not going to click on this to show you because that would expose student names to the world, but these are the basic steps. So what I would do is encourage you to experiment with this basic technique. Essentially, if you can think of a way to search so that it pulls up all and only a group of emails that you're interested in, then you can use filters and labels to create automatic actions that help keep your inbox from overflowing. Although I'm a fine one to talk because I have over 5,000 emails in my inbox right now. So I won't go too far down that road. I will show you a particular use of this though. So for instance, in our division, I have a filter that looks for email from department chairs, assistant deans, and other people in leadership roles in various projects like dual credit and so forth. And it labels all of those emails with this label, LAHC leads. And this one is actually even color coded to make it stand out a little more. But what this allows me to do is find in the vast morass of emails I get every day, emails from, for instance, department chairs or assistant deans that may need my attention. Obviously, I try to look at all my email every day, but this is one of those techniques that allows me to be a little bit more targeted in my focus. So that's how you create basically a rule that will help you keep your inbox a little better organized.